Hello, everyone. Good evening, Annie. Good evening, Stan.
Evening.
Evening, both.
How are we on this wonderful, whatever day it is now? I lose all track.
Tuesday?
It's Christmas? Monday?
Monday?
Monday,
It's Monday. Oh, it's only Monday.
I know. I know. T minus 3 days until,
Or 4 days till it's all over.
Yeah.
Oh,
The busiest night of the year for you.
It's 3 more nights, and I am a busy beaver.
Working 2 jobs, it's hard this time of year.
Honestly, working food retail and delivering presents to all the children in the world is tough. It's a tough gig.
But it's the economy. You have to have 2 jobs.
It's exactly what it is. So for this sort of Warhammer Wanderings episode, just to sort of get something, I would thought it'd be nice to just get together and chat through 2025. Sort of how's the year been, sort of as a group. How have we found, sort of how busy's 2025 been for Forgotten North and what we've been up to, etc. And then touch on some of how 2025 has been for us individually in the Warhammer sense. How's Old World been? And then a general chat about the game itself, how it's evolved throughout the year, and then finish on chatting about a little bit of what we feel for 2026 and what might be the next chapter in the Old World, not Tau. Because we don't appreciate that at all.
Trying to educate northern people, it's hard work.
So just Towie.
Just Towie.
At least how we spelt like that, so I can get away with that.
So I suppose if we sort of start with how the year's been for us. Busy.
What a year.
It's been a hell of a year, and to be fair, it's probably the first one of many to say thank you to everyone who's attended one of our events and whoever's watched any of our YouTube stuff. Thank you very much. It's been a hell of a year, and we really do appreciate it. But we started back in May. This our first event of the year for us hosting was May.
Forgotten North 2.
Forgotten North 2. 40-man event.
Feels like a baby event now, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? Which is wild.
So at first, we sold out within 2 days.
Was this one 2 days? Was this one
a day?
One?
A day.
Was this one not like in so many hours?
Yeah, I think it's about 4 hours. And the next one was like 1.
It was meant like I was absolutely blown away because I remember I was working, and
it was done by like 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, you were messages saying like, "Oh my god, it's gone." I was like,
it was sold out maybe in the summer. We're like, no, it's gone.
I was like, nah.
You have little faith.
I know. So that was incredible. And Forgotten North 2, I thought was a really good event. If I try to cast your mind back to May, it was well attended by a lot of very good players across the country.
Yeah,
a lot of who proved to be Team England players. It was won by Charlie. Didn't drop a game. If I forget memory serve, because it won't.
When he dropped 4 points or something.
No, he finished on 11. He dropped 10 points across the entire weekend. He finished on 90 points out of a possible 100. With over 10,000 VPs as well. Like, it was just...
He didn't just win. He probably won.
It was an absolutely savage performance.
Yeah, and he gone to a tiebreak, he'd have still won.
It was a hell of a performance by him. And...
the rise of the VC.
It was... Yeah, well... and Steve came second, the Great Atoll, who also didn't lose a game.
He lives a good second place, Steve, doesn't he?
A very, very strong second place. And Richie rounded out our podium with his X-Force.
Yeah.
There were simpler times, May.
And I think, if memory serves, Tom got best painted for his
Beastman.
which were really like those really John Blanchy
Yeah.
Beastmen, which are really stunning. And Mott won best single model for his Chaos Lord.
Yeah.
Every individual painted scale, which was, like, frankly, a little bit mind-boggling for me. Was he painting them all individually? I thought that's literally insane.
It's one of the last times he played Warriors after that, wasn't it? Though.
Yeah, I've not seen him play Warriors since then, actually, personally.
Oh,
No, that's it. He's dropped his mic. He's done. He said his piece. He's had enough. That's a 2025
Yep.
boat.
but that was me.
That was me. And then we went to, like, for ourselves as far as TOs. We had Forgotten North 3, which is our most recent event. I mean, we don't need to go into loads of details. We've already done the review video, but 60-man GT.
Yep. Started off at 48 and sold out really quickly again.
Again, and we can only thank everyone who makes the event so incredible.
And then we made the decision to go to the second room and go up to the 60.
Which I think, if anything, Forgotten North 3 was even smoother running than Forgotten North 2, despite the fact that it was bigger.
Yeah. Oh, Andy,
Andy,
dead.
we've lost your comms, Andy. If you can hear
Andy.
us.
I think having played that weekend
back.
as a
Oh, you're
stand-in,
back. You were
playing in the little room was even nicer than playing in the big room.
Yeah.
It was much more chilled and just calmer.
I think, as well, to mention it as well, Forgotten North 3 was our first event where we've live streamed every game. And I say we. Richie from Dowie After Dark came up, didn't
Yeah,
take part in the event, and came purely to live stream with able assistance from Mr. Brewis, who won Forgotten North 1. And
the
and
second
Alex,
best Goblin player in Gateshead.
the second best Goblin player in his own postcode. In 2024. Yeah, that is hilarious. But I mean, that Forgotten North 3 went, I thought, like, exceptionally well.
Yeah.
The streaming, we had a hiccup, game 1, for sure. Turns out the internet can't travel through walls of the hotel.
I mean, to be fair, had we done the streaming, we'd have had a hiccup game 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Oh.
So infinitely better than us.
But let's be honest, we would have made national news because we would have burnt the building down and killed everyone.
If they try to rely on us to do an actual live streaming event,
or would have just sent news to everyone viewing by carrier pigeon. Would have been quicker.
I think everybody who listens to us or watches this podcast knows that we are IT gurus.
I mean, to be fair, you are the IT guy.
Which is a worry, isn't it? Let's be honest. Plug it in. That's broke. It's not working. I'm done. Turn it off.
Turn again. It's fine.
Yeah.
Hit it with something.
Yeah. And Forgotten North 3 came very quickly, relatively, after Ollie had hosted the Welsh Open.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was did it end up being 78 player event, I think? It was the biggest in the UK, the Welsh Open. Forgotten North 3, outside of Warhammer World, remains the biggest event in England.
Which is the proper country.
Yeah. Don't upset our Welsh viewers, Andy. We'll come for you.
At least they travel north.
Yeah.
It'll just be Ollie in his little car. It's fine.
But between both those huge events, very close together, it Stan alluded to it earlier, did sort of become the dominance of the VC.
Yeah.
Very much so, in the fact that 5 out of the 6 podiums were VC. And I think if you extend it a bit further back and put part of 1.5, Toy Soldier also had 2 out of the 3 podiums were VC. So out of the 3 40 big events around that kind of time-ish, 7 out of 9 podium places were Vampire counts.
Yeah.
But no one's ever podiumed GW with Vampire, so they don't care.
Well, yes, indeed. Fair. Yeah, Warriors are the problem.
when we look back to 1.5 and Match Play Guide, VC made out like bandits.
Well, to be fair, if you think originally when they released King of the Hill, VC and Tomb King was like auto win. It's brilliant. I'll have 6,000 points by turn 3.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
King of the Hill's outrageous. But I think like I look back over 2025 for Forgotten North. I mean, what a hell of a year though! 2 big GTs, like collectively like 100 players across 2 GTs.
Yeah.
Really,
And a lot of them are returning players, which I quite like as well, that come back to each event.
Yeah, it's lovely to see returning players and new faces. So I mean, Forgotten North 3 was won by Keith, who hadn't made it up to Forgotten North 1 or 2. So it was nice to see Keith venture to the north, the real north, not the northwest. Keith, obviously. But yeah, I think you're right. Like, amazing to see the returning players. Amazing to see that more people and new people there.
Well, I think for that as well, the painting went phenomenally.
Oh
fine.
my god, the painting in Forgotten North 3 I thought was incredible. Amy's Troll Horde is a particular shout out. I know we've featured it on we've shown a lot on the channel. We will get Amy on just to talk about the hobby side of it when we can. But in like the level of paint I thought Forgotten North 3 was incredible. It was so nice to see how the wider hobby had grown.
I was quite seeing everyone's, what you call it as well, little caravan thing. What you call it?
The baggage train.
That's the fella.
Also thought it was cool that there was some others there, but Amy's, Mops, and Nick's tryhard boards were lovely.
I like the way Amy wasn't sure about bringing a smoke machine, and Mop was just like, "Oh, fuck it, I'll bring it."
Yeah, Mop was like, "I'll bring a smoke machine. I don't care about the fire alarm."
Here's the number for you. Across the 3 Forgotten Norths, so the first one with 28, then the 40 and 60, we've had 75 different attendees.
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
So we're running at about a 50%. 50% of the tickets have been returning players.
I think that's ace, and it is nice. We obviously always do open ourselves up for feedback because we always want to make sure every event that we put on is as good as we possibly can make it. And I don't think we've got any critical feedback from Forgotten North 3.
No,
which was lovely from any of our returning or new attendees. So that was really really lovely.
Interesting.
Striving to make the best event we can.
Interesting. It was us just in VC are too powerful.
Yeah, although I know we've had this out, it's hard because the issue I find with VC is that for clarity, other than Uncomped Cathay, I think VC are comfortably the best army in the game. It's exacerbated by the fact that they're also played by some of the best players in the game.
Which you expect, the best players will drift towards the best armies.
A lot of the time, yes, but also I think VC are also just have always been a popular army anyway.
They've always been a strong army.
They have always.
It's pretty much the same list is the issue, really.
Sorry?
The issue, a lot of it is it's almost a carbon copy list everyone.
To a large point, that is the problem. It's a grave guard brick with the Helm of Commandment, the Drakenhof banner.
It's a couple 100 points of your own flavour.
Yeah, for the most part. Although, yes, certainly in 1.5, I think in earlier, the initial edition, you had a genuine difference between people running that brick, that build, and the Mass Scream build, and still both doing well.
Yeah.
But it looks like the Mass Scream use has significantly sort of dropped.
We got comped a bit as well, and a lot of people comped the Screams.
Yeah, well, I suppose
which then pushed people into the brick potentially.
As the vote for the Masters showed, a lot of people wanted Screams comped, and I think that does push them into a very generic army.
But did we have a comp for Screams at Forgotten
No,
North
we didn't.
3?
No, we,
We didn't see any really mass Scream lists.
no, we didn't. No, we
Comp on
didn't.
screen to the last event? I thought we did.
No, not the
I
last
thought we
one.
did comp screens.
The
No. I
could be
previous
wrong.
ones we had, but in Forgotten North 3, there was no mass Scream armies. So you're right,
We
it
not
is,
cut
it
off
is
we
generic.
comped it.
I say generic. The other thing is, once the best players start doing very well with the list,
It disseminates.
yeah, people jump on. I don't want to say jump on the bandwagon because it sounds a little bit insulting. I don't mean it that way. But
When people know something works, they will gravitate towards it, though.
yeah,
Which
but
is the downside of the internet. You're going
yeah,
to see
it's
what
like-
wins events.
it's
You can
like
see what the list
Netlist and
is.
an eighth, isn't it? It's the
You'll
same.
give it a whirl,
Yeah,
but it is just you'll always get that. I think.
yeah, I think so. I do. And then sort of, I was briefly mentioned it there, but the other thing that's happened for us as a group and has Forgotten North in 2025 is that we put a bid in for and won to host the Masters, the culmination tournament of the 2025 competitive scene, which is incredible. It went obviously to vote to the top. I think it was the top 50 that got to vote.
I think it ended up at the 60.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Actually, yeah. And we sort of just beat out the Dudley boys and the Black Country GT guys, amongst obviously other people who put bids in. Honoured to be voted to host the Masters. That is obviously in January.
Yep, 3
10th,
weeks.
11th.
Yep, 10th, 11th.
3 weeks. List deadline for all those attending is in T-minus 11 days. No,
Yep.
9 days. 9 days.
9 days. New Year's Eve. And we've still got a couple tickets left for the Masters.
The Open. Couple of tickets left
I
for
think
the
it's 19 days from today of recording till kickoff.
Yeah. So if you are free that weekend, 10th, 11th of January, and you do want to attend an event, or the Open tournament that will run parallel to the Masters and follow the same compact, is also a few tickets are still available if you want to reach out to us. Exciting stuff as we build towards the Masters. Obviously, you guys will effectively be running it without me. I am taking part in the Masters this year.
Why is it? Oh, yeah, you're a tryhard.
I'm just better. I mean, like, some of us are just better.
This is one of those people. These people that play undead, they just play for win. It's shocking.
I've been dead for years. I've never been. Well, actually, they were crap in 8th, to be fair. Still played them. I also played VC in 8th before you
You
started.
also played VC in the old world.
I've never taken a competitive event.
Have you not?
Nope.
I'll believe you.
I think the only things I've taken to competitive events in the world have been Empire at the very, 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 very start of it. I took Chaos Dwarfs to Colchester for a change. And then otherwise I've just ran Tomb Kings of various different flavours. Mortar Cult in the first year predominantly. Segueing into Grand Army, predominantly then Grand Army from a lot of events. And then the back end of the year, mainly post or building up to and around the WTC, played Royal Host.
That's a nice segue to what's our year's been like as individuals.
I mean, I suppose that's start. I can't, not really individual, but individual from ourselves. But obviously, the highlight of 2025 as a war gamer for me, and frankly, the highlight of my entire life as a war gamer that happened this year, which was attending WTC as a member of Team England and going on to win the World Championships as part of Team England. Like that was incredible. Like, the whole event was amazing. The team, like, I've made friends for life, and like, to be fair, that would be an amazing year anyway. But representing England at the WTC and winning was like genuinely incredible. and that was obviously with the host. Like for me, I was obviously selected as England's Tomb King player, and had I went 4-1 personally. Lost for enough to vampires and domination. Goddamn domination. But that was incredible. Hosted in Mel, Germany. It was brilliant. Road tripped that out there with a few of the other players, Dave, Steve, and Mop. Met with the rest of the team at the hotel. Like genuinely fantastic. And I suppose that was followed up by the fact that I reapplied and have got on to England for 2026 as well, to go represent England in Talavera in Spain, and hopefully defend the title, which would be
You better. Or don't come back.
Well, I mean, seems really harsh, but yeah, there can be only one. I think as well, like away from Team England and that highlight, I think it's fair to say, although I've been a lot less active in 2025 than I was in 2024, I've comfortably been the most active at events out of us three.
Yeah.
You guys have had a relatively quiet year as far as attending events go, safe to say?
I had an absolutely unbelievably quiet year.
Yeah, for how many you went to in 2024,
it's probably the quietest year either meal you have had since COVID, probably.
Honestly, you guys have been to barely any this year, really, haven't you?
I've been to two days all year.
I don't know what I've been to.
Is that one more than you've been to, Andy?
I went to
you
Toy
did one
Soldier
day as well, Stan. You did a 1 day.
Yeah.
In Newcastle.
I did Toy Soldier for the 2 day. I did the 1 day at Northern Alliance. I don't think I've done any others.
I don't think you have. I think you've only done 1 2 day and 1 day this year.
But I have spent most of the year being brutalised by various versions of your Tomb King list.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, both of you guys did a sterling job helping me prepare for Worlds.
I mean, technically, I've played at Forgotten North twice.
That's very true. Yeah, you have.
Did I play in the last one? I don't think I did. I played in the last one. I don't think I played in the one before, did I? I played in one of them because I took your Empire.
That was the first one. We didn't have to play
one, wasn't it? I don't think we played in two,
did we?
No, I played day one of Forgotten North 2.
Yeah.
And then we had a drop out
overnight. You
played
game one, lost to the Lizardmen, so you bought the Lizardmen.
Yeah. So a real strange year from a playing point of view then between us, wasn't it?
I think my calendar just didn't line up with anything, and I think obviously you're literally the driving force behind the central events. There was a lot you couldn't make because of Mel.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot around that time that I would love to have went to that I just couldn't because of the time off I'd have to invest for going to Mel for the WTC.
Yeah, because have you changed your armies much this year, Stan? So this year I pretty much ran me demons for everything for the year.
Well, I used Brett's at Colchester.
Podiumed as well.
Podiumed there. Then thought I'd try and be a smart ass and make Lizardmen work at Toy Soldier.
You regretted that after game one.
Oh, yeah. So it was a good thing I enjoyed the event.
Yeah.
Your highlight from what I remember was killing the Green Knight, though.
I enjoyed killing the Green Knight. And then I used the Cathay the 1 day.
Yeah.
But
I think they're going to be my army going into next year.
I think that's really interesting, well, especially when we come to talk about where the game might be going and what the rumours are going into 2026.
But you two are taking Ultra Filth next year. Shocking. No one saw that.
Whoa. 2026, Andy, other than what I'll have to play for England to make sure I keep my hand in, is going to be the year of the rat.
Which, from what I can tell, you'd have by now had you not kept faffing on with which models you wanted.
No, they're for Christmas.
And Cathay are going to get the world famous triple nerf.
Yeah.
in January.
I think
Balloons are getting
Cathay are
positive
looking at getting an absolute whooping in the next
Did-
FAQ.
Games Workshop are going to come to my house, shoot us in the kneecaps, and then stamp on my head.
It will be interesting to see what they actually do to them to make them in line.
Yeah, I suppose that might be a sensible sort of segue then to talk about the wider.
Yeah.
Away
Because how
from
much
just-
can they do with VC without saying they're a legacy army? We don't touch legacy armies, and that becomes the issue: what they do with legacy armies.
Yeah, so we've got the expected the next expected FAQ is scheduled to land in January.
End of January, they said.
Yeah. I very much expect, as we've just alluded to, or even said flat out said, I expect Cathay to get significant nerfs in the next FAQ. If nothing else, just to drive the fact that it also parallels with their next release of models.
Yeah.
And why would you need to buy subpar models when you can just fly around with balloons and win games?
So when
I
you have to
don't
do it,
think-
you get screams of "Yay!" across the world as Cathay gets
I
nerfed.
don't think that, there's been talk that people have interpreted what GW have said as they're going to rewrite data sheets. I don't think they are. I think you'll
I
see
think they might
balloons.
adjust points brackets and stuff like that. Like they do with the Bretts, up the peg knights by a few points. They'll do stuff like that.
I can see them losing a few universal special rules, maybe a toughness decrease, but it'll not be a full rewrite.
It's fair, they've got almost every special rule going.
Oh yeah, I mean when they wrote the rules for balloons, they literally just took every special rule and just printed it on a page.
Yeah.
If they just lost some of the rules, they'd be still incredibly good. I hope they do get toned down, because I actually think a lot of players are put off playing Cathay by the stigma of playing Cathay because they're so egregiously good.
I think the issue is,
you are mercilessly bullied by horrible people.
but the issue you got as well, when they released them, there was only so many few units. No matter what you picked, it was a ridiculously strong army, and that wasn't saying I'm just going to take the best units. They were all good.
I don't know. This might, and I might be wildly off the mark here. I kind of feel like Cathay, the first batch that we got, was brought out earlier than initially planned, and that's why we didn't get a full army release, and it was just that sort of initial.
No,
I think.
No, I think no. It's pretty much, if you look at like what to do with 40k, it's pretty much how they introduce. What's amazing is we're getting the second wave so quickly.
Mm.
So if you look at like recent releases, say the Emperor's Children, they got 5 units and a couple of characters.
Is that in all 40Ks though?
No, but
40Ks.
But it's the standard thing. They'll release it in like a couple of waves. I'm amazed we're getting their second wave so quickly. I thought it'd be second edition.
What has been lovely, to be fair, is that it's the first time we've seen a legitimately new army and fantasy since 6th edition Warhammer.
Since the ogres and stuff like that.
Ogres. Ogres were the last new army released, which is crazy, really, when you think about it. I'd love to think, or to hope, because I don't think this will happen, but there's always a small kernel of hope inside me that they do run a pass over legacy armies, but I don't think they will.
Andy's totally right.
At some point.
You can't do anything about VC without acknowledging them.
Yeah. I hope. No, it won't happen in January, so I'm just going to say I hope in 2026. Looking at the timeline, we could have VC reintroduced via Musalon.
Yeah.
That would be a really lovely way to bring them into the old world.
Well, if you think of how you bring them in, you could bring them in that way. Demons you could easily bring through when eventually they get to like the Siege of Prague and all that. They could easily come through journals without any issue. Because there's not that many demon units. You could easily stick them in a journal.
Dark Elves. Theoretically, Dark Elves need to be into the storyline to invade Ulthuan to drive Teclis coming to the old world and the sort of withdrawal of the
Well,
elves.
it's the opening salvos of the Great War.
Yes, my point is though, they don't actually have to be in the game for that to happen per se. It could just be background story, because they never really interact directly with quote unquote the old world.
The easiest way would probably be a high elf journal, and you had like a Phoenix Gate defense force.
But it needs to happen to explain why elves withdraw. Although I'm saying all this as if we're going to follow the exact same kind of story and timeline.
Because they've already retconned a few things.
Yeah, well, that, and we've actually got Cathay interacting with the world now, which obviously the history of Warhammer as it has up to this point didn't have.
Yeah. This was an interesting one, and I'll credit, I'm sure it was Bell of Lost Souls that highlighted it, that demons. So generally in the mainline games, they're trying to split demons out as a separate faction. And they're just getting lumped in with the various God-aligned forces.
Well, that's how they used to be for years.
But they pointed out that in Heresy, you don't get demons, you get heresy demons.
Yeah, Demons of the Ruin Storm.
Yeah. So if they went them in plastic, maybe Specialist Design Studio will share demons between two of their systems.
Yeah.
There's not many for Heresy yet, though. But it would, with a fantasy release, push both aspects quite well.
Yeah.
But with Heresy, it's new edition and a lot of stuff getting moved to plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Might they go...
And then start rewriting the names.
How they want to drive it forward. I think what is quite interesting as well is that this is the first time in sort of the... I don't want to say the history of fantasy, because technically this is not fantasy. This is World. It's a different game, which I think we do need to remember. But actually, within the space of the couple of years nearly that has been out, we've actually moved the timeline on. Has it moved forward about 12 years based on the last?
Yeah, 12, 14 years, something.
Yeah, because last time they tried that was Storm of Chaos, which didn't go how they wanted, so they just pretended it didn't happen.
Yeah, but we went from 2276 to 228 something.
I can't what the last journal is.
There.
But what my point is, we've seen that they've moved the timeline on, and they want to drive a overarching narrative and feel like the world is moving forward and evolving, which I think is really positive.
Yeah,
in the fact that should give us hope of seeing additional things.
The last few journals pulling together all the little story bits that were in the first 10 journals.
Yeah,
it does seem like we are going somewhere.
But if you look at the way Heresy did their journals or the Black Books, demons didn't appear in Heresy until you pretty much got to Terror almost, because that's when they were corrupt enough you'd start to see them. So there was no demons for years in Heresy until they then, at the Siege of Terror, we now got demons.
Which, to be fair, would relatively to a point mirror Old World, wouldn't it? You didn't really see them until Prague.
Yeah. But it all fits, and the way they do journals, it would fit nicely with, here's your new army for the Siege of Prague book. Here's your armies for whatever you're going to call them.
Because the other thing as well, like Heresy, it's a mirror image. The knowledge of demons might not be as common. So, we recognize as plague bearers and all the rest. At that time, they might go, Mackham.
Close enough.
I do. I mean, I know, relatively when it comes to this sort of stuff, always an eternal honest, but I do think that the Arcane Journal route that they've picked to go through is a really positive and engaging way to driving the narrative forward, and I do think it gives them a lot of versatility to engage with the narrative and in the storyline.
It's a license to print money, because they could be sitting there and go, ooh, let's tell this story.
Exactly that, yeah.
£15 book.
Yeah.
Well, especially with the last journal having new common magic items for everybody. Because before, High Elf Journal, I'm never going to play High Elves, what would I buy it? Chaos one comes out. I'm not going to play Chaos, what would I buy it now? Ooh, new magic item.
A lot of people will have them all because by the nature of what we do, like a lot of people are just collectionists.
Yeah.
But you're right. The last book was very different in the fact that it opened up things for just generic use.
Unless you're a dwarf, get it out there.
Very
Dwarf
much
don't
unless
get
you're a dwarf.
But even I know we don't by nature we're competitive players, but the ones before that with the random terrain generators and the different, there's been lots of fun stuff in there.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think
Someone like GW of old have snuck a little bit in.
yeah, I
Some
think
rogue old person's got in and written a book.
I do think that they've. You can tell that behind the old world, it is a passionate drive for square-based Warhammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's obviously a huge kudos to the writers for that, because you can see that behind it all, it's driven through a passion, not just a work.
Having experienced other systems, you can tell this one isn't controlled by the suits fully.
Yeah.
But they still managed to sneak some stuff in there.
So, before we go too far down the rabbit hole of what we think might be coming in 2026 and whatnot, that we just talked about there, 2025 saw quite a huge shift in Old World. So, obviously, if we cast our minds back to July, August of 2026, I think it was August it was released, was it July? We had the 1.5.1 FAQ.
The Make Infantry Great Again FAQ.
Make Infantry Great Again, yeah. That was a huge...
The Stop Brutalising Corpses FAQ.
Yeah. That was a massive shift in the game. I think if you look back, 2024, although we had a lot, the armies kept coming out, etc. Obviously, the first year of being released was ace. 2025 then sort of started to stabilise, etc. And then a meta had certainly evolved. And then come the summer of 2025, bang, huge FAQ driving what was fundamentally almost a different game in many respects.
It wasn't just that; it was also the dropping of the match play.
Yeah, that summer was a hell of a combo. You had the 1.5 FAQ, match play guide dropped,
and Cathay in 3 months.
Within
the 3 month.
The only thing bad I would say from all of that was the scoring system in the match play guide. We've tried it for a little bit; it just wasn't great for the game.
Well,
the rest of the match play guide, absolutely no issues. It was just the scoring system was a bit.
I'm going to say something controversial. I know Stan doesn't agree with us on, but I'm going to say it because this is our year of review, and then you guys can shout us down, and I'll get back on my box.
Well, at the minute, I'm going to agree with Stan because it's against you.
Well, I mean, that is how we normally roll.
How we decide all tie breaks.
Yeah. In some regards, I actually think scenarios in match play, and therefore scenarios in the game, have made the game worse, at least for certain armies.
Okay, I will agree with you. I'm not a huge fan of objectives.
I like to say I don't disagree with you, but I also see I'm going to be the Scot here and see the optimistic side. I think it might have penalised some armies, but it's also helped some other armies.
Yeah, for sure. And you're not wrong. Like in every time they try evolving the game or and putting new things in the game, there's always going to be winners and losers.
Yeah.
I do think a lot of the things that have come from the scenario game and the objectives game, though, not all, but a lot, have just led the good armies to just be better.
It made a lot of undead better at objectives.
And things like, say, let's sort of dwarfs, for example. One of a very legitimate and, to be fair, an enjoyable playstyle, if you're a dwarf player, was to play a very static gunline army. You cannot play a static gunline army relatively in objective play. You just can't. It penalises you for wanting to play that style of army.
Yeah.
But is this down then to TOs to not all say, let's do the same missions from the match play guide? Let's do maybe 2 with objectives, 2 with secret missions.
Yes, for sure. However, is there any objective or any mission in there, really, that encourages you to play a really defensive sort of, not so much, but like a really static army? Like, I just don't think there is. And I think that's why...
Out of all of them, probably the special objective one, because there's only one objective, and at the end of the game would be the only one really.
It's also in the middle of the board.
Yeah, but you can start right next to it. You haven't got to be right in your corner. You can still be back on your board edge. Out of all the missions, I'm saying that's probably the only one you can do.
And, that one, if it's only that one, it's only 200 points, so it probably plays into the gun line.
Yeah. If that is the only one you're playing, maybe I do think I was super keen on the match play guide and objectives and the scenarios. Like, I really was. Part of us is worried has actually done the opposite of what it wanted to do, and I think it hasn't made the game arguably worse in some respects. Now, I haven't really
more random objectives and random missions, like we used to make our own up for events and all that. Kind of stuff.
That's what I said to you. It's a starter for 10.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they're there. I do think there's still work to be done, or maybe it's more evolution to allow people to play the game in different ways rather than...
I think it's a starter. If they start putting new match play missions in an arcane journal, so over the course of the however long we've got in this edition, we'll build that out to a dozen different missions.
I mean, I hope so.
Or as TOs, we use this as the starting point and then come up with stuff of our own.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be a mix. Some of the match play missions I quite like. So some of them in there, but then some you do some with secret objectives, some with
them.
Whatever you want to do.
I don't fundamentally dislike many of them. I have just become more and more conscious, though, like over the last sort of couple of months, relatively. Like that, and that's when my sort of opinions sort of started to solidify that it's... Like, I don't know if it's been any good for the game relatively, whether it's just made the armies that are going to win more.
No, I think it's been good for the... I agree with you. It's made good armies, like VC being the prime example, better. But it's also given other armies a bit of breathing space and room.
But actual units as well.
Others have been penalised.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm not saying...
My old Beastman army would have scored 0.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying it's done nothing but bad. I don't know. It's certainly a discussion point, but
I think it seems to be that every event's doing the same missions, no matter where you go, which gets a bit... Well, you think back when we used to do 8th, for example, we'd go to Colchester, we'd go to Derby, stuff like that, we'd go to Scotland. We'd quite often in a calendar year play 40 different missions sometimes. They were all a bit different. They were all tweaks. Since that, everyone's been to these missions. There's no variety in there.
Yeah, and maybe it's the first time in a long time GW have actually went, here is a competitive pack. Have fun. Like, use it. But
then no one uses the special objectives, secret missions, do they?
Not yet, but when we go to Durham in several weeks, they are, I'm sure.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Everyone's saying like about objectives, but no one's used the rest of the match play guide.
Yeah,
everyone's kind of stopped at that page and not done the last bit.
Yeah, no, I suppose you're right in that regard. Like, there's more scope, and maybe I'm being a little unfair.
And then the other thing which we discounted at the start here, which got to be involved in the question: does the fact that we've gone back to 20-0 scoring make the problem worse?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's because it would be better with the 0-6 scoring.
I don't know, there's just so many people on the same score.
I know, I don't like it, but if you're talking about having a static line, they're never going to 20-0, but they could 6-0, if they kill off enough of the board.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you're right. You're right, and maybe that's the way the as it's intended.
It needs to be all or nothing kind of thing.
That the gap from top to bottom does narrow with 6-0 scoring. I'm not a fan of it. Like you say, we none of us were when we've tried it at an event. Hats off to Toy Soldier, they used it, and it was so tight. Like there was one point or something between the top X number of players. It was crazy.
Yeah. But I think you've got, if we're going to talk about the impact of that, you've got to talk about it as one document.
You're probably fair to bring that up.
Which we're using a third of. We're just using the missions, not the scoring or the extra missions.
Yeah. I'll go back.
If we had an event and there was no match play guide missions, just main rule book and the objectives even, might be quite nice for a change as well.
Yeah. I might go back to me pondering and try to look at it in a completely wholesome view without sort of personal experience or opinions based on what we've actually done and revisit the entire book.
And then there's always the ifs and buts of, if we hadn't had that, where would the meta be?
Oh, for sure. Because I mean,
we could be having the same conversation.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think for me, one of the biggest things was the 500-point limit.
Yeah.
Because that stopped a lot of the big killer cows dragons, toned them down, toned a lot of the bigger stuff down.
Well,
the massive pizza box of Tomb Kings.
I know, that was very sad.
I think my favourite thing was the poison nerf. That was brilliant.
It's such a knobhead.
I still disagree with that.
Poison's stupid.
The change of poison is stupid.
Once you stopped mystical pathway, you stopped poison.
Yeah.
No one ever complained that, these 60 skinks are killing me. These 30 would have hearted are ruining the game. People said, these 100 goblins, these 100 Tomb Kings are ruining my life.
Yeah.
But they never would have bypassed with the dragon.
Well, yeah, you're right. That's the point. Like, they were the meta evolving to answer the fact that the rest of the meta was dragons.
Yeah.
And you had to have an answer to dragons. Otherwise, you just got ruffle stomped.
But the nerfed dragons...
The 1.5 was funny. The nerfed dragons, the massively buffed static combat res blocks and
the nerfed the shooting at large targets. So the poison was like, it didn't need that.
No, it didn't. Poison got nerfed multiple times over with not everything being able to draw line of sight, could shoot, like the whole unit. That's all it needed in that regard to fix the blocks.
Comped armies that didn't need comping. No one complained of lizardmen, wood elves, whoever else got poison. No one moaned. People moaned about the big blocks moving 20 inches and shooting the crap out of you.
Aye, and then between like comping or amending TMP and not everything being able to see.
And the general wizard nerf. Yeah, absolutely. I suppose we'll talk about that.
Basically, Scott and Brewis ruined poison.
Well,
yeah.
So you've only got yourself to blame.
Thanks. But it did. I think you're right. Though it was all of the.
It seemed like a big knee-jerk reaction.
Aye, it was wood elves. It's lizard men. It's who else shoots light poison. My mind just went very blank there.
It's only really them that I can think of. Goblins to a degree with smaller little.
Yeah, sorry, but you're right. All of those things lost out because of GW didn't want blobs of archers.
They're only good when you're rolling 100 dice and you could freely move to shoot whatever you wanted to.
Yeah.
As soon as it was just smaller units, have 20 shots with poison. It's fine.
Exactly. And then it's just added admin as well. Like, these ones were 6s. I think they're +2. Like, these ones, like, it's just more dice rolling unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Yep. If they wanted to change it, I would have just been happy with it. Even just all poisons are +1 to wound.
Yeah, if you have poison, you're just always a +1 to wound if you hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they had to change it.
Yes, yeah.
Poison's been the same for, let's face it, decades now. It's never been an issue apart from big block shooting.
Yeah. And then I think Stan mentioned there that the other big one that changed in 2025 was the wizards and the magic changes in general.
Yeah. And only 1 4 and 1 3 per army, kind of like 4 level 4s
2
anymore,
3s.
and like little gobbers.
2 3. But I was more thinking of less the comp on restrictions and more
+2 to cast.
it's only +2 and +1. And I think now I'd have to troll through some comp data, but I'm fairly confident to say since 1.5 and the nerfed general wizardry, you have seen a power spike alongside objectives, etc., on Wild Herd. Like, they were one of the big winners because they can get multiple pluses to cast. They can really dominate Magic, and they've got lots of cheap scoring mobile options.
I think things like High Elves got a stealth nerf because they're being able to reroll once a turn.
Not stealth nerf by having before they reroll.
Sorry, stealth buff.
But yeah, I think to be fair, I think High Elves struggle.
They struggle for other reasons.
Because I don't think their core's great. They're Andy having a conversation, not with us. Check him out.
Yeah.
But
no, I think the Magic change was really positive.
It certainly made Magic much less dominant overall,
and less reliable.
Definitely less reliable
because it was too reliable.
Yeah. I don't inherently disagree. I'm not sure if it was a problem though, because it's a fantasy setting where I want to see magic and monsters.
But it was a problem if you ran demons.
yeah, it was.
It was the problem. It was the problem. Back to what was said about list design and list. It was a problem if you didn't bring a level 4.
Yes, I don't disagree that it definitely bridged the gap and it stopped you being punished by only bringing a level 1 or 2, and that's not a bad thing. I don't think in that.
Because you now don't need wizards
or any. Yeah.
In version 1, if you didn't have a level 4, you were at an innate disadvantage.
Yeah, it was in that regard. It was very like 8th edition in the fact you had to almost have a level 4 just to counter level 4s. Yeah. So yeah, and
it's very much like how we used to comp 8th. Though we level 4 got a +2 bonus.
Yeah, we did. We ran
an old comp from 8 that we ran for years.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the change to the +1, +2. Like
I thought the whole 1.0 did give demons in general a decent boost. They're still not good, them at least, but it made them playable.
Yeah, I think my only issue with it is that overall, I think they could have probably done with a wider realignment of magic casting values.
Yeah, some went up, some went down. Some were a bit of odd ones to change.
It's just, and I'm not like, it's okay that certain big spells are really hard to cast for level 1s and 2s. Like I'm okay with that as a concept. Don't get us wrong, but it only having +1, like some of those spells to cast are just generally really difficult. So
when we did the games with your Chaos Dwarfs, like level 1s are just pointless.
Yeah, so like, they're there as a spell.
Yeah,
because they're +1 versus the level 4s +2.
I think it forces you build in a different way.
Yeah, it does. I just a little sad in the fact that I've always enjoyed being a magic user in Warhammer for the most part.
But it made traditional good like Zinj are now better at casting like they should be. Because they're still getting extra bonuses.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, Mordcut are pretty reliable still. Wild Herd.
VC
in general, obviously. Because they're just good at everything.
But if you think some of the other races at this era, they weren't great with magic. It wasn't like they were.
No, you're right.
Like,
to be fair, you go back to the setting. Teclis hasn't brought over the actual like laws of magic. Like, theoretically,
these crazy people living in woods.
Hedge wizards, aren't they? Effectively. Yeah. So yeah, I suppose in that regard.
But I think things like Lore Familiar, Power Scrolls, that new item, which allows you the reroll of cast once a turn.
Yeah.
I think it's just a way of, version 1 was, I'm going to cast my spells. I don't need to worry about it. Just dice will do it. To this now, for those big spells, I need a plan. If my strategy hinges around these big spells, I need to make my strategy to how to cast these spells.
Yeah, no, that's not unfair. And it's also made MR exponentially more valuable.
Yeah, MR's amazing now. I mean, when I play my demons, generally, no spells generally go off in that game.
I mean, it made me, for me blocks, really be looking to get the Spell Eater Axe in almost every list.
You
Because
do see Spell Eater Axe appearing more and more in lists now.
it's,
Usually on like a wizard or someone who's not doing anything.
he's there. It's a cheaper way to get MR than taking 2 Obsidian Lodestones.
Which is
And the Brucey bonus of a bit of magical attacks.
Exactly that.
We'd like to see more Chaos Lords now on their dragons with Zinch over Nurgle. Because that MR does more than the other ones.
Yeah. I do. Yeah, I do think that was a big change in 1.5 across this year. Was that magic?
It's that. And the other thing is then is the parry rule for infantry. Suddenly they are actually decent and have an armor save that actually lasts.
Infantry did get exponentially better.
And unfortunately, because the way it was written with the crumble rule, VC kind of got a boost in the infantry rule as well, with crumble being on their regen for crumbles.
Yeah.
Which we're all assuming he's going to come off in the January FAQ. Because it's clearly that should not be the case.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, we've comped it, and most other people have comped it that.
Because as written, you get dangerous terrain, you get your. It's just, there's too many. Like you crumbles from combat, you shouldn't be getting regens.
I think that was just someone went a bit too type heavy and removed the clarification on you don't get it on lose a wound mechanics.
Yeah, I think it accidentally got removed from the FAQ previously, but yeah, it was big though, wasn't it? Like it really did change the meta.
Because Toy Soldier, you did get your regen, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes. Because it was just after the FAQ, like they went with as close to full match play, 0-6 scoring, flat out the game that GW effectively intended you to play.
Plus King of the Hill.
Sorry?
Yeah,
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill. But it was the game as close to rules as written as any event I've been to.
I was so good at Toy Soldier, I got to play Wood Elves for King of the Hill and not some Toon King VC shenanigans.
Yeah. But it was interesting though in the fact that the edition 1, if we call it pre FAQ, was dominated by dragons.
Yeah.
It's fair to say really genuinely quite dominated by dragons.
By toughness 6, multi-wound.
Yeah.
Triple saves.
It's arguable to say that warriors have been one of the big losers in 1.5.
Still doing okay if you can play them well.
100%. They still compete, don't get us wrong, but they've gone from being dominant, not as dominant as, say, I think VC currently are, for clarity, but they were very, very good. And I still think they're a very good army, for clarity. I still think they're sort of second tier. They're
knocking on the door.
In 1.5. And the amount of answers people could start bringing for dragons, and I suppose we'll see if that continues following the most recent journal and the No Stomp banner.
Which you are going to say. I don't think it's going to be as horrific as a lot of people are thinking. It's still only one unit.
It's only one unit, but my worry...
Are you going to moan about Death Star despite you running 2 Death Stars now?
Well, they're not a Death Star if you've got 2 of them, are they?
Death Stars. Even the Empire had 2.
But I do worry I think Death Star should be an absolute viable build. I just don't. I hope, and it hasn't. I haven't seen it yet, so this is just. And I don't want to fearmonger.
But it
I
could be an
hope it
easy way
doesn't-
to group it together.
I hope it doesn't become Death Star off, and
I
that
saw
every
in one
list
of the,
is
I think it's
Death
on the
Star
Discord.
list.
Someone did a Warriors of Chaos one with the Stomp Banner in a cavalry unit with about 4 characters in the cavalry bus.
Yeah, you'll see it. I think Death Star should be a totally viable option. I just hope they're not quote unquote the only viable option. I hope there's still a monster mash that totally is viable. I hope evasion lists are still. I mean, I think the more Death Stars you see, the more viable evasion becomes.
Yeah, I struggle to get the Stump Banner into any of my lists.
Well, it's all relative. Some armies
It's not in my list, to be fair.
struggle to find it. Is that because you can't take it in demons?
I haven't got it in my basement or my potential Brett list.
But and some armies won't take it, and some armies will struggle to get in. But that's why I don't think it's the inherent death of monsters. I do hope we still continue to see a game where almost all variety of army is viable within the meta. Relatively.
I think we are in the Death Star meta now with the Graveguard block.
That is a point that could really be.
With that, when you look at the master, so agreed with the UK and Ireland chairs for the comp, does try and mitigate that a little bit with the no reroll for undead on the BSB.
Yeah,
It does mitigate their block a bit. The banner for no stomps does pump them back up a little bit.
poor
But
innocent
no
Tomb King
reroll
losing
is
out because of the venom that people have towards VC. Poor innocent dry dead.
You prefer the moist. Shocking.
The maths say it still goes off 70% of the time.
But that's better than 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, and I suppose it's interesting to see how the game has moved. And I think what's really positive, again, to be glass half full kind of guy, is we've all played fantasy for a long, long time, and for a large part of that, the game was dead.
Yeah, it was very static.
So it's lovely to see the fact that actually within the approaching 2 years of Old World, we've actually had an evolving meta where you've had to keep adjusting your lists and keep adjusting your style and keep evolving alongside how the game's evolved. And I think that is definitely a positive that we should be looking forward to in 2026 to see where the next FAQ takes us and how far away a second edition might be. Like, I don't know, 2 years. I don't know if they'll do a 3-year, 4-year cycle. Who knows?
So with that, you taking obviously Tomb Kings until your Skaven are ready for 2026.
Yeah, I'm not going to rush me Skaven either.
I don't know if you take something else in the interim for a break.
I don't know. I have to come back to Chaos Dwarfs for a bit, to be honest, just to mix it up.
I don't know whether you would just because you're going to Skaven, whether you'd try, be it Empire Warriors, whatever it is, as a bit of a.
I must admit, I haven't enjoyed using the Empire in Old World at all.
Apart from just to kill Stan's dragons.
Oh well, obviously every time I kill Stan's dragon, it's hilarious, and I did that when dragons were good. But that's because Stan can only roll 1s and 2s when
unless it's leadership, then he rolls 10s and 12s.
Stan loves a leadership.
Exactly what Scott does, which is why he plays undead.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a little bit worried about playing Skaven as well because I've got to actually interact with leadership, and I don't enjoy that at all.
I was thinking today, and this is how many games I've played against you this year. I was sitting there and go, how does panic work again?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
But you know what Scott doesn't like, Stan? Mark of Undivided rerolls.
Honestly, that is disgusting. I cannot believe people are complaining about undead rerolls when the Mark of Undivided exists.
And the amount of my chariots that failed their charge for fear, and then hang on, got a reroll. They go in here.
Honestly. But no, I think that's probably been, if I take one thing away from the wider Old World in general in 25, it is the evolving nature of it and how the meta shifted with the FAQ, and I think that's what leads us to be so sort of optimistic and looking forward to 2026.
Again, I totally agree with you, but I hate the fact that we'll probably lose 2 months
Waiting
in every
for it.
cycle. Yeah. Because
I do
December
agree with that, because I do think there's a bit of a general malaise currently. I appreciate it's Christmas, so you get that with everything, but in general, I think there is a malaise because people are now just waiting for the FAQ.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm going to do my Bretts no matter what the FAQ says, because it's just what I'm going to do. Whether it's good, bad, they're still getting done.
Bretts are going to be Bretts are going to be good anyway, but
whether pegs are good, pegs are bad, cavalry good, I don't really care.
Yeah, but you do get that kind of like, I don't want to plan anything, I don't want to test anything.
That is the issue. If you're looking to commit to something, and not just as I say a passion project, like they say your Brett's Andy, for example, you know you're going to do them regardless. If someone's waiting they want to commit to something for either the next year or they want to do a project, but they want a project that's going to be
competitive.
Which is nothing.
Depends what you've got as well. Because I mean, I'll probably use my Beastman next year again, but I've got enough variety in that list that it can vary up time as your Tomb Kings.
Yeah.
But if I was going to build a new Beastman army for say 2,500 points, and I was like, oh, actually, these are all rubbish now. What the hell do I replace them with?
Yeah.
It's annoying, and it's, let's say, wargaming's not cheap. You don't do it without having decent cash spare.
And it's the time commitment to get things on a painting table.
I mean, even if you look at with the thankful birth of 3D printers, so you can get much cheaper armies now than you used to be able to.
Yeah.
But you're right though, Stanley. It's such an investment in time and effort to get that army put together, painted, etc. To then use.
It's almost cheaper to find a wife that can paint and marry her. Almost cheaper to do that.
I've had to invest years into her, Andy.
I didn't know, Stan. I was thinking today if Scott actually the foot injury was an accident or not, just for more painting time.
Are you thinking that it was a misery situation?
Yeah. He's not denying it either. It's shocking. I just think, like you said, people will be waiting a lot, and I mean, they're busy anyway. But I think no one's going to really plan a massive project until they know what they're planning.
Obviously, this is at the top 25%. We're talking here.
Yes, it is at the top end for the most part.
Yeah, people just want to play for fun. Will just play for fun, no matter what their list is, good, bad.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people play armies that they have some sort of affiliation or a bit of passion for. Like something that speaks to them. I know you laugh at it as well, because I always play Undead, but like I've played Undead since 4th edition because I've always loved Undead. From that very first box set of Jason the Argonaut style skeletons, like holding the gash with his smiley face. But it's still in a large investment time. And even if you're passionate or something, you don't want to play an army inherently that's just crap.
Are we on about Lizardman here? Because there is no good build in that book, no matter what you do. Unless you rewrite the book, it's
weird. I disagree. I just think the problem is the Lizardmen build is just a skink cloud.
But Poison's not good anymore either.
It's still decent. In the volume of shots, you can march and shoot. You're just in the way. You can score.
I think the other interesting thing as well is almost like the North-South divide is the Renegades pack.
Yeah, obviously that's a big point that we can't really not recognise.
You never see it really north of Nottinghamish.
No. And personally, I wouldn't go to an event that uses Renegades.
They did it with 30k. The Australians did it with they released, I can't remember, the Pamplone, I think it was called, which is like a different variation of some of the rules, brought in like Orcs and Necrons and Eldar. And I was just like, no. You're just making fan rules now. I can write them in my garage.
To each their own. I'm not attending an event that uses Renegades. I don't have any interest in attending an event that uses Renegades. I don't want to be playing.
I get why people want to use them.
whether you agree that GW need to update the legacy armies or not, and I think the balance pass would be a really good thing, there's still published rules for those armies, so just use the published rules.
Yeah. It's not like eight when we used, what do you call it, thingies.
WAP.
Yeah, but those armies hadn't had enough book updates since like 6th edition for some of them.
Yeah, like even the legacy armies, although they haven't had a balance pass particularly, have still been written for this edition.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't think they'd be much different if they were released as a proper book anyway.
And that is not me trying to slag by any stretch. Like, I'm not slagging off the Renegades, and I think it's a really actually I think some of the rules that they put in there are actually better, and make them.
Yeah, as it is, it's a good pack. It's well
Yeah,
written.
it is. I was going to say, please don't
amazing.
misconstrue the fact that I'm saying I wouldn't play it, because I think they're bad or anything. I actually think they've done a very good job at balancing the armies in improving them. It's just that on principle there is published rules for that army that I think should be used.
Yeah. If they never released the legacy books, absolutely fine. Renegades pack, not an issue then. But now they are out there, we should use them.
If they were never released, or they'd release them and then we'll say it open and say, well, actually they're going to die in second edition or whatever, I'd be even maybe more open to them then for keeping them alive, etc. But as it stands, and this is my current opinion, I don't think they're required, and I wouldn't attend an event with them in use.
I think what I find awkward is some people allow legacy and normal and renegades, so you could play demons game 1 and 2, same army, different rules. That would really confuse me.
I think it's prohibitive to people getting into the game.
Yeah, that's my big issue. That how many times on Facebook do you see, "Oh, I've heard about this Renegades. Where do I find the rules?"
Yeah, you see it in lots of groups. I think you're right. If you're quite new, let's be honest. Old World has a lot of rules.
Some good, some bad. We don't like them all, but it's what it is.
It's a complicated game, and if you're trying to learn rules for different armies, so you've got a bit of an idea what you're coming up against, and then all of a sudden you attend a Renegade event and you're competent with the rules, but you might not have read all the legacy stuff, the Renegade stuff, sorry. And then they're doing something totally different. Like, they can't do that. Like, I've got this rule book here that GW have printed, and here's the rules. I'm like, no, I've got this made up rule over here that says I can do it. And
I know this is extreme, and people be cursing when I say this, but this is just how I feel about it. Technically, the Tomb King rules and the Bretonian rules are older than the legacy books.
Yes.
So why don't we rewrite them?
But I didn't want that to sort of devolve into a Renegade bashing. That's just you're right to mention.
No, I think great for people. The more it's your hobby, do what you want. I'm personally not interested in them.
And my issue is how much they interact with an FAQ. They'll say they've got this rule, but mine hasn't got. It doesn't marry up as much. You then writing your own FAQs. It's
but I think you're right there, though, Sam, to sort of like summarize it. Like, look, it's your hobby. Whoever like you are, it's my hobby. It's your hobby. It's your hobby. It's your hobby.
Yeah.
Hobby however you want.
Yeah, if you're just playing with friends in your local club, absolutely fine. Use what you want.
Play the game however you want to play the game. Just enjoy it. That's what it's there for.
Don't play Tomb Kings.
Well,
but I think that's people can take away from that you won't see Renegades at one of our events.
You'll never see Renegades at Forgotten North. Even if one of us went mental and wanted it, the other two would be like, no!
Nope, you'd be shot. You'd be taken outside, taken out back, and shot.
We just book you in for some scans. See what went wrong.
Yeah, we're all quite aligned and passionate about that, aren't we? So, have we missed anything that we want to talk about 2025 before I nudge us along towards the end of the recording?
Don't think of anything.
No, I think we've already gone into 2026.
Yeah. So, what is your hope for 2026? What do you expect the most in 2026? And then on the hobby side, what's your plans from a army/model and painting side for 2026, gentlemen?
I hope GW don't come around and give us the triple nerf at the end of January. Because I do enjoy Cathay, and it's not. I haven't really played the net list.
No, you haven't.
But I do enjoy them. I love the models. I love the job I've had on them. I just they need nerfing, but just not obliterated.
Aye. I don't think they will obliterate them, to be honest. I think they'll nerf the really good stuff now so that it's not dominating and their new stuff has a place in the game. Is my hope.
Because no one's going to buy the new stuff. Because why would you?
Yeah.
Unless the new stuff's even better than the current stuff.
I'm looking forward to just generally see what content we get because we don't know.
Yeah.
I just really hope you see more Sentinels because they're lovely models.
Stunning.
I don't think I've seen one yet on the table.
Are you... Stan's used one?
I've used one.
Not against me, you haven't.
Double
balloon, double Chuglord, double cannon.
Well, played you once.
All cannons, they just didn't do anything.
If that's your hope, what and I know you're going to play your Cathay in 2026, and rightfully so, especially if they get a little bit of a nerf, because I know they are stunning. It's a lovely looking army, and you want to use them.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to just quietly work on a few other little projects, but as we know, I'm really slow at painting.
You're just going to potter along, focus on playing your Cathay at events, and then see where that goes from there.
See where we are.
That's what you need to do. Do a Scott, train Nick, be fine.
See where we are in 6 months.
Yeah, fair.
But we do have the new box sets. But I'm hoping, because we've seen it with the Marauders, I wonder if that is going to be the new model, the reinforcement box set.
Yeah, maybe, and that's not a bad thing.
I feel that the Marauders are more like Norskans than general Marauders as well. It's more like a sub-faction of Chaos, like the old
Yeah,
Norscan.
they've almost become less chaosy and more Norscan, which I'm totally cool with as well.
And not the Marks have gone for the clans and the tribes. It is very much like, was it second or first edition where you had the Norscan tribes?
Yeah.
It's very much like that rather than, here's new Marauders.
But I wonder, you could roll that out with the Empire. I'm begging for that. Here's an Empire reinforcement box with new sculpts of knights, and
you've got it's the time of 3 Emperors. We've heard nothing about the 3 Emperors, really, have we?
You can't help but think that's going to be a massive release at some point. Shed load of Empire stuff everywhere.
Orcs and Goblin. Here's all your Savage stuff and your Forest Goblins.
Yeah. With Empire, let's just roll it on. Get Magnus out there.
Is it something we'll see Scott do Empire again?
Something like that might be the only thing that does, because I think he's a boy, isn't he? He's a baller. But probably not. What about you, Andy? What's your hopes for 2026 and what you're focusing on?
I hope the FAQ does bring something for legacies. I don't think they can be ignored because of how good VC is. Whether they'll just do bits for that or whether they'll do a full touch-up, they need to do something for the legacy list. Even if it is minimal, there needs to be something in there. I don't think they'll be ignored because of how good VC are. I just don't know how much they'll put into the legacies.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and then from a model thing you mentioned already, so
I'll run the Beastmans for the year probably and get the army painted up alongside it.
Are you still able to do your Brett's like a VC like undeady style of Brett? Are you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Dead Bretts.
That's the only good Brett.
I knew you were going to say that. Nothing but predictable.
Elves. You can do dead elves.
You're as predictable as Manfred von Karstein.
When you live for eternity, you fall into habits. You know what I mean?
So what's yours?
I share some of those hopes, to be honest. I think my short-term hope is that the Jan FAQ drives the game forward in a positive manner. And that,
Again,
by that I mean it nerfs
hit.
Cathay enough and brings down not just Cathay, to be fair, either brings down some of the more overperforming armies, but I hope it does something to bring up the weaker performing. Because I'd much rather see weaker armies buffed than powerful armies nerfed.
I think it's got to be both. But
Yeah.
I remember last January. Remember how disappointing that was?
It wasn't a big, yeah, I know. Me longer term hope for 2026 then segues into what Andy kind of said. I hope throughout 2026, whether it's, I don't think it's going to be this FAQ, although I hope it is. I hope they do a pass on Legacy and make and do something with them one way or the other. I'd love
think it
to
would be
see
hard.
Musalon come in. So I don't know. That's my big hope for 2026 that they do that. And then obviously from a hobby inside, I will be predominantly playing Tomb Kings most likely. Following on the FAQ, it depends what flavour of Tomb King probably looks more required for Team England, to be honest. But I'll be working on the Skaven. And as soon as they do get done, any solo event, the intention is I'll be taking Skaven to those solo events.
1 and 2 days, or just
probably? I mean, rats.
Do you know what you're going to struggle with the most? It's a lot more models.
Is it though? Is it?
I think it probably is.
I don't think it is.
No, it's more units.
Oh, it's definitely more units. Yeah, because I really want to just essentially a really plague orientated army as well.
My last game I was Plague. It's by far the most fun.
Like just a big block of frenzied rats, aren't you? It's rats.
What's not to like? Frenzy, less to think about. Just push.
If you don't love it, two big loves, undead and rats.
Do you have a 2 big 100-block Plague Bearer units?
Yeah. You can't make them that big on a 500-point limit, sadly.
Oh yeah, because they're not.
I think the block is roughly around the 60-ish mark of Plague Bearers.
But I do think the more you see Death Stars and big blocks, the more you might see Stone Throwers, Mortars.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if you start to see more Death Stars, one, avoidance becomes better because the best answer to the Death Star is not engaging with it.
Which then depends on which missions you're playing, and it's
because the Death Star wants to point and click.
Yeah.
And you're right. You'll see more mortars. You'll see more stone throwers. You might even see a Hellstrom rocket launcher.
Mm-hmm.
You won't.
Nah, let's not go over the top here.
But yeah, I hope for 2026 that that's kind of like what we see. Hoping to be around about as active as I have been this year, if I can be in 2026.
I'm hoping to be more.
Well, I was going to say, to be honest, what I'm hoping for is that both of you are slightly more active because obviously it's a lot of fun when we go to events together.
Well, by the end of January, I'll have almost equaled my record of last year.
Yeah, because to be fair, last year, neither of you went to the Durham event, did you? I went by myself.
No, because it was on the wife's birthday.
Last year I had a lot on weekends with little and stuff.
Selfish Nick being born. And then wanting you to spend time with her for her birthday.
I know.
You need to be more of a bad man, Stan.
But we do need to look at our diaries for things like Glasgow and the rest of it.
Yeah, we do. We do need to align to see what we can attend, and like that's the other thing I would hope from a wider community point of view. That, and I know it's not easy for everyone, but in a similar regard, that how we've put out our fundamental dates for 2026, I'd like the wider community to be doing that as well.
Yeah, I think they are getting better at it. I think.
I do agree with that. That's hopefully going to be.
Black Country's going to release theirs, I think, for next year soon.
Yeah,
because I didn't want to go to Sam's event.
Sooner the bigger events at least announce their dates.
Yeah,
the better chance people have got to be able to plan their time off work and their sort of accommodation, etc., to be able to attend those big events. And if we talk about maybe if we do say hope to qualify for Masters next year, for example, because we host two very big events that give up maximum points, we are at a disadvantage for qualifying for Masters because we don't play in our own events.
Yeah.
Because
Or when we do play, we don't play properly.
Because there's essentially, we're saying there's two of the biggest events in the year that could give 100 points and then cascade down that we're not going to be getting because we host. So if we do want to qualify for Masters next year, and we fair now, I'm committing to Skaven, like that's a long shot.
You might get best Skaven player.
That might be the only consolation prize I get, to be fair. But I hope that as a community we align and are quite forward looking with our event calendar.
I think more TOs now are joining up and having more discussion.
Yeah. No, I think
that month because yours is this month, and
I think what people don't see as much is how the alignment and the interaction of TOs behind the scenes is becoming in Old World.
But it is
a
really hard
positive thing for the wider community.
Yeah. But most TOs as well are very limited on when you can book a venue because often got stuff already booked for the first and second days of the month and blah blah. It's a nightmare at times being a TO.
Aye, yeah, for sure. And the other hope is obviously that all of our Forgotten North events, Masters, Forgotten North 4 and 5, and the narrative event go very, very well. Obviously, that is a big hope for 2026.
And the Masters that we're hosting could be the first event that we run that one of us could win.
I won't, but it is theoretically possible.
In theory, it's the only one we could win.
Yeah. I am genuinely at a bit of a conundrum about what to take to Masters, if I'm honest. But that's a different story. We'll talk about that, I suppose, when we do our Masters list review.
Lisbon have got a good build.
Oh, no, like, for clarity, it's Tomb Kings. I just don't know what flavour of Tomb Kings.
I don't want to start taking panic tests.
Yeah, I want to take the leadership test. That's for lunatics.
Wait till it's Skaven for that.
But yes, I mean, really, after this one, our next recording will be our list review for Masters.
Which will be the... When did we say we're doing that? The second? First? When did we say?
Second, I think.
Early January.
Friday the 2nd is the aim.
Yes, it is. Because the list deadline is the 31st. Just to be very open and clear, I no longer have access to our BCP program, so that I can't look at lists that, not that I would, but just for clarity, I have lost access to it. Stan's changed the passwords, I can't get in. So my only interaction with the Masters BCP system is through my personal login rather than Forgotten North login to submit my list. So deadline is 5 p.m. New Year's Eve.
And it's a hard time now to get practice games in it as well.
Very hard to get practice games in. So to be fair, someone could tell us the list, it wouldn't make any difference to us. I already know fundamentally which, like, I've got each of my lists pinned down. It's more which one do I actually take. Which flavour of Tomb King do I go with? How aggressive do I want to try to win? Because it's big risk versus big reward. So yeah, our next record anyway, and a long-winded way of saying it, is that we will do a Masters list review in very early January as we start to build towards the Masters.
Yep, and that'll cover both events.
Yes, of course, Masters and the Open. I must admit, I do mean both events when I mention the Masters, because I think the Open event will be a lot of fun and has a lot of good players in it as well who aren't, through whatever different reason, at Masters. And a good way to get some early points with all those sharks at Masters.
Yeah, it's going to be, if you want to win your first event.
It's a good chance.
It's a good one to start with.
Yeah. So I suppose with that in mind, I think that draws us to a relative end to the episode.
It does.
I think so.
The only thing left to say is this obviously will be out very shortly before Christmas. So Merry Christmas to all those who celebrate.
Which is our present to everybody. You're welcome.
You're welcome, world.
Yeah, you can open us on Christmas morning.
That sounds wrong.
Wrong, but you love it.
Yeah, and for those who don't celebrate Christmas, happy holidays. Please like, please subscribe, and please leave a comment. We love the interaction, and it also appeases the YouTube algorithm gods as we try to continue to grow the channel. But until next time, we'll see you next year.
Next
We will
year.
see you next year.
Next year. Until 2026, thank you very much, everyone, for an amazing 2025. And thank you, guys.
Thank you both, and goodbye, everybody.
See you later.